Mr. Weber, thank you very much. And now it's all yours.
Okay, Mr. Weber, first question about what's going on in the EVP. Viktor Orban, his party Fidesz, we know about your 3 ultimates that you gave him. He said that he will remove the billboards, but what about the 2 other ultimates that you gave him? What will happen on the 20th of March when you will decide whether to expel him or not? And later on this day, you are going to 2 other Slovenian parties that come from this group, and they don't think that Fidesz should be expelled. What do you think about that? Mr. Janez Janša was in Budapest yesterday with Viktor Orban. Can you please explain what's your comment on that?
Absolutely. So thank you so much for the interest, for being with us today. First, before I answer the question, I want to congratulate again New Slovenia for the 13th anniversary. We are celebrating this, and that is for us a great event because, especially here in Slovenia, we are one of the founding fathers of the country. There were a lot of freedom fighters inside of the novel Slovenia who fought really for freedom and for the status of today's Slovenia, and that is what we memorize today, what we have in mind today. And it's great to see also for me as a European politician that we have this history in our ranks. And on the concrete question, we are at the moment in dialogue with Fidesz, with our Hungarian friends. In the last year in Helsinki, the EPP confirmed in a declaration, in a resolution on our Congress, where the whole political family all over Europe met, we confirmed our basic values. What are we standing for? What are our ideas behind? And my hope was that this is also concluding the domestic internal EPP debate about our values. And that was obviously not the case, because 2 weeks ago we saw posters in Budapest where the Fidesz party was strongly attacking, let me say, Europe, the European Union, the institutions on European level. And that is simply not acceptable for us. We are a pro-European party. We are the founding party of this European Union of today. I said it today in my speech as well. And that's why we cannot accept that somebody is doing campaign against Europe and also against EPP top politicians. That cannot be the case. And that's why a lot of parties inside of the EPP, for the moment 13 parties, asked for suspension or for expelling Fidesz from the EPP family. That is today's situation. And I was putting in a letter to our party president, Joseph Daul, the 3 conditions clearly on the table, what we expect from Viktor Orban and the Fidesz party to do if they want to stay inside of the European Union. Let me sum it up. We need a proof. We need a proof on Fidesz that they belong to the EPP. For the EPP, it's not first of all about figures, about power. It's not first of all about the size of the group. The first step for the EPP is whether we belong together, whether we have a common idea about the future of Europe. And I want to thank also Mateja for his statements in this regard, that New Slovenia was also clear that we need this kind of proof from Viktor Orban, that he is really part of the EPP family. Again, I want to keep the group and the party together. I am a man of a bridge builder. I think we have to listen to each other in today's Europe. That is what we need more than ever before, probably, especially it's between the Center Eastern European countries from the former communist field and the West. We need more interaction, more talks, more conversations to understand each other in a better way. But that means also that both sides have to contribute. And that's why I will go next week to Budapest again and will speak with Viktor Orban and then let's see what will be the outcome.
You're talking about the unity, but it seems like when you remember the vote of triggering Article 7 last autumn, some of the members of EPP supported your idea to trigger the Article 7. Some of your members didn't. Today you're coming and visiting parties that are quite reluctant to expel Viktor Orban Fidesz. So how would you like to persuade them to follow your idea? And the second thing is, isn't it a question about your authority as a leader of EPP and Spitzenkandidat, maybe the future president of European Commission, that it's high time to say we are following certain policy, following European values, and clearly to ask Are you in or are you out, Mr. Ball?
Well, I did so. That is what exactly is the message of my letter. Decide. And the ball is in the field of Budapest. The ball is not in the field of Brussels or Europe or the other parties. The ball is in the field of Budapest. He must decide.
How to persuade Slovenian parties that are reluctant to expel?
You can be sure that I, and together with the party president, Joseph Daul, I will try to propose a procedure, to propose a decision for the 20th of March where the party can be again united. I must please allow me to underline one other aspect. We voted as European People's Party in the European Parliament in favor of Article 7. The first time in history of the European Parliament we activated such an Article 7. And it was due to the contribution of the EPP to reach the two-thirds majority which is needed in the European Parliament for such a procedure. So I think we gave already, as an EPP party, the proof that nobody has a special treatment when it is about fundamental principles inside of the European People's Party. But I want to underline that we have further questions on the table. In Romania, we have a socialist government who is allowing corruption. In Slovakia, we have a socialist government where the investigation on the killing of an investigative journalist is not working in a proper way. We have Poland on the table. We have a lot of countries on the table where we see problems. And that's why I, as Commission President candidate, I want to present for the future an independent rule of law mechanism, because it's not a party political issue. We are doing our job inside of EPP, and others must do their job in their ranks. It's a very general question whether we still believe, whether we still defend what we believe in as Europeans. What is the fundamental principle? Freedom of media, freedom of justice, independence of justice, the question of fight against corruption. That are the principles of Europe, and that is what we have to defend. And that's why I want to put on the table an independent rule of law mechanism. And for me, the most powerful institution we have for defending our fundamental principles is the European Court of Justice. Even Poland followed the court case outcome, the judgment of the European Court of Justice on the High Court in Poland. That's why I think that is what we need, a general assessment about the rule of law implementation, and then all over Europe, not only for the new member states, all over Europe we need such a mechanism.
And if you
Sorry, we really have time for one more question, so maybe if another colleague wants to follow up, but otherwise we have
but for if you like, again, Orban is not a problem at all, but if you like to have also some considerations about campaign and about what does this mean probably for Slovenia, I would be happy also to share with you some of the ideas if you wish, but if you don't wish, it's up to you. You are the journalists, absolutely.
I'd like to ask, there are 3 Slovenian conservative parties in the European Parliament. How are you satisfied with the engagement of their EPs in current term and in preparation for the next term, for the elections?
Well, you must see that in the decision-making process on European level, size matters. So the EPP party is today the biggest, the largest political family in the European Parliament. And without this support of the European Parliament, none of the legislation, in agriculture, in regional funds, in research, in all the fields we are, the banking union, all the fields we are doing discussions and decisions. Without the European Parliament, there is no decision. And without the EPP in the European Parliament, there is no decision. That's why I want to underline, even for the moment, a smaller party like New Slovenia is part of the biggest team in the European Parliament. So people must know here in Slovenia that when you vote for an EPP party, you have really influence. You are sitting on the table, you are doing the key decision-making in the Parliament on European level. I think that is an important message to pass, and that gives you an answer that the team of the Slovenians have to form together a delegation, and they are one of the powerful delegations. They are pushing the group leader when it is needed to look on the Slovenian interests. So there is no doubt about that there is a good team there, and hopefully we can continue. But again, that's up to the people. And if you allow me, the key question for Europe is having the low turnout also here in mind. The people don't respect the importance of the European elections. Let me add two considerations. One is we can wake up in the next European Parliament on the 27th of May, so the day after the European elections, where a majority of the European parliamentarians will be populists or extremists who are refusing cooperation, who are refusing compromise orientation. And that is real. That can happen. And then we have no further agriculture funding in the future. Then we have no further Commission President or Commission anymore. We can end up in a nationalistic, egoistic Europe. And that's why the participation, that people go to vote and vote for serious and pro-democratic parties, is so crucial for these elections this year. And the second element is that we think as Christian Democrats that there are two options on the table. One is a left Europe, where we talk about a lot of more debts in Europe, where we talk about less economic growth. Wherever the left is governing in Europe, we have less growth than in the other countries. And on the other hand, we have the right extremists, this nationalistic Europe. And we as Christian Democrats, from our history, we are the center, we are the middle way in a way. And that is what we are offering to people with some concrete suggestions for stable euro, for economic growth, for protecting our borders. But that is what we are offering. And finally, if you allow, I as a candidate also want to be concrete, that Europe is understandable for people. For example, I will promise that if I will become Commission President, I will stop the enlargement talks between the European Union and Turkey. I think Turkey cannot become member of the European Union. And everyone who is voting for one of our member parties will get a Commission President who will do so. So people must get a clear idea what they get when they vote for one of the EPP parties. And I'd say the same in Madrid, I say the same in Athens, I say the same here in Slovenia. We are presenting a European-wide program as EPP where we have common ideas for the future of this continent of Europe.
You're talking about the importance of rule of law, and the European institutions as the guardian of rule of law. If you're moving in the 13th floor of Belemo Palace, you might be invited to the European Court of Justice regarding Slovenia and Croatian border dispute. What would be your point of view you represent?
You know, we are in the process that Slovenia went to court, and I think it is for a politician a good approach to respect court cases. That is for the European Court of Justice, that's for other courts the same, and that's why let's wait for the outcome of this court case now. But I must tell you that there is not a lot of understanding European-wide that this cannot be solved in a way, because it's not seen as a let me say as a huge problem. I would say that all over Europe people are really asking themselves, those who see the problem, why is this so difficult to solve? So that's why I try to do my best again, this is bridge builder aspect, to find finally solutions on this.
Thank you. For us.
Thank you so much.
Answering this question.
Thank you so much.